Hello friends, now we are doing problem number 2 for influence line diagram for train of loads. Okay, so this is a given problem, that is 80, 60, 100, 120, which is separated by a distance of 2, 2 and 3 meters. 120 is the leading load and the load is moving from left to the right of the section. We have to calculate absolute shear force and maximum bending moment. Absolute shear force, this is one, then maximum bending moment at the midspan, and also maximum positive and negative shear force at midspan. Midspan means here he has not given you directly the C point, indirectly he has told that the C point is at the midspan. So let us calculate first for absolute maximum shear force. Now absolute maximum shear force means what? Reaction RA and reaction RB. Correct. Maximum shear force at midspan means you will be having that shear force diagram being drawn like this. Now to get positive, the tail of the load should be on C. To get negative, the head of the load should be on C. While arranging like that, you will get the maximum shear force at midspan. So let us start one by one. Let us start with RA and RB, that is absolute maximum shear force. So to get absolute maximum shear force for RA, the tail of the load should be on A point. So this is the influence line diagram given. This is the influence line diagram for reaction RA. 60 kilonewton is the tail of the load with respect to 60 kilonewton. We have to arrange the other loads, that is 70, 100 and 120 kilonewton. Now for 60, since it is at A point, the ordinate is 1. For other loads, I have named it as Z1, Z2 and Z3. From the similar triangles, now let us calculate the values for Z1, Z2 and Z3. The value for Z1 will be how much? It will be 33, that is this 29 plus 4, that is 33, divided by 36 meters. Next Z2 will be 31 divided by 36 meters, and Z3 will be 29 divided by 36. From this way, that is Z1, Z2 and Z3, these are the values for Z1, Z2 and Z3. Now reaction RA. Reaction RA is what? Summation of loads multiplied by its respective ordinates. That is nothing but 60 multiplied by 1 plus 70 multiplied by Z1 plus 70 multiplied by Z2, 100 multiplied by Z2 plus 120 multiplied by Z3. From this you will be having RA value. 60 into 1, 70 into Z1, 100 into Z2, 120 into Z3. After that you will get the value as 306.94 after substituting and calculating the values. Now next for RB. Now to calculate reaction RB, the head of the load should be on B. So I have placed the head of the load, that is nothing but 120 on B, and the influence line diagram is as given. Okay. Now we have to calculate Z1, Z2 and Z3 for the given loads. Okay. How do we do it? By using our similar triangles. Okay, Z1 will be 34 divided by 36, so 29 plus 3, 32, and Z3 is 29 by 36. So these are the values for Z1, Z2 and Z3. Now RB reaction is what? Summation of the loads multiplied by its ordinates. So this is the equation for it. 120 into 1, 100 into Z1, 70 into Z2, 60 into Z3. Substitute After substituting and calculation, we get the answer as 324.93. Now this is our this is absolute maximum shear force at B point. Next, he has told to calculate maximum positive shear force and maximum negative shear force at mid span, that is at point C. So the mid span, since the whole beam is 36 meters, so the beam gets divided into 18 and 18. So to get maximum positive shear force, the tail of the load should be on C point. So this is the tail of the load and it is placed on C point. Rearrange other loads. Now calculate Z1, Z2, Z3 and Z4. In my previous section also I have told you why this is not 1, because this is not placed exactly at the support. This is not placed exactly at the support. Other than the support, anywhere other than the support, you get the ordinate less than 1. Okay. So let us calculate the values for Z1, Z2 and Z3 and Z4. Now again you have to use your similar triangles. Since we are calculating for positive shear force, the upper side of the shear force diagram will be used. This is your actual shear force diagram, this part. Okay. Now this is not present. Now to get Z1, what I have to have some maximum ordinate. So I have extended this, and the upper part, as you know, is the reaction RB influence line diagram, and the lower part is reaction RB influence line diagram. Now reaction RA is positive, so we are going to use the upper hand section for influence line diagram and calculate for Z1, Z2, Z3 and Z4. Now to get Z1, that is a smaller triangle, this is a smaller triangle, this is the larger triangle. So Z1 is what? 18 divided by 30. Z2 is Z1 is 18 divided by 36. Z2 is 15 divided by 36, Z3 is 13 divided by 36 and Z4 is 11 divided by 36. From this, calculate the values of Z1, Z2, Z3 and Z4. Then positive maximum shear force, that is load that is nothing but summation of all the loads multiplied by its respective ordinates. Okay, so I have done the addition part. I have done the substitution part of Z1s, that is the values of Zs, and I have got the value of positive maximum shear force at CS 131.89 kilo Newton. Here this is a repetitive part, this calculation of ordinates and all. The main important thing is what the problem we are going to solve and where should be its position. Whenever maximum shear force at midspan is asked, so everything is dealt with the point where wherever C is given. Now this C can be 1 meter away or it can be 2 meters away. In the given problem it is exactly at the midspan, so it is 18 meters away from point A. Now here, whether we are dealing with positive shear force or negative shear force. If we are dealing with positive shear force, the tail of the load should be on C point, and if we are dealing with negative shear force, the head of the load should be on C point. This is important. And with respect to positive and negative, which value we are going to take? If we are calculating positive, influence line diagram for positive shear force has to be taken, that is nothing but RA, and if you are calculating for negative, the negative value, that is the RB influence line diagram should be taken under consideration. These are the important points. Rest, these are mere steps. Okay, see here, this is how the arrangement for negative shear force is done. As I have told, when we are calculating for negative shear force, the head of the load should be at C. So keeping the head of the load at C and rearranging the previous loads. So this is the diagram that we get, and here we have to use the negative part of your shear force diagram, that is the there's a below part. Here you get the positive values, here you get the negative values. Now calculate for Z1, Z2, Z3 and Z4. Here you will be having -1 ordinate. Okay, now on the same points you will be calculating Z1, Z2, Z3 and Z4. Next, once you get the values of the ordinates, multiply with their respective loads to get the negative shear force at C point. Now once you multiply and get the values, so you will get the answer as 149.53 kilonewton, and this is nothing but your maximum negative shear force at C, or with respect to this is your nothing but mid span. Okay. Next, to calculate absolute maximum shear force. Now what is the first step? You have to calculate the distance of the CG. Now let the CG of the loads from the leading load be x bar. So this is the this is your resultant somewhere. I have just, first you don't know where it lies. After doing the calculation for x bar only you understand where it does it. Like simply this is your train of load 120, 100, 70, 60. Now calculate movement of these loads about the leading load. Okay, that is 60 into 7 plus 70 into 4 plus 100 into 2 meters. This, even if you don't write, it is understood because the perpendicular distance between this load and at this point is 0. Divided by the resultant. This is nothing but you are calculating the CG value, centroidal distance. Okay, so this is the summation of all the forces. From this equation you will get the x bar value as 2.57 meters. Meaning of that is that the resultant lies at a distance of 2.57 meters away from the leading load. So now if I want to plot it, here 2 meter gets over, so here 4 meter, it is in between 170 kilonewtons. So somewhere here I will place my 2.57 meters, the resultant value. Now in between these two loads I have to choose the heavier load. In between 70 and 100, obviously the heavier load is 100 meters. Now I have to calculate the distance between the heavy load and the resultant. Okay, how will I do it? X bar minus this distance. I will get the remaining D distance, because D plus 2 meter will give me 2.57. So obviously if I want D, it will be 2.57 minus 2 meter. So I will get the distance as 0.57. Now this 0.57 is the value of D. Now okay, now where should I place this heavy load 100 kilonewton far from A meter, A support? Okay, now the position of 100 kilonewton from support A, I have just named it as A distance, you can name anything, x, y, z also, is given by what? L by 2 plus D divided by 2. Here the span is 36, okay, by half, plus D distance that we have got 0.57 divided by 2. You will get the value as how much? 18.285 meters. Okay, so this 100 kilonewton should be placed 18.285 meters away from support A. So the rest all distances you can calculate by subtraction and all. So at this point I will name something as M. At M point I am getting maximum load as 100 kilonewton. Rearrange the other loads by the respective distances. Now this is your maximum ordinate. Now I will name, always the maximum ordinate is given by AB divided by L. Okay, so this for other loads you can name it as Z1, Z2 and Z3. Once you have this, calculate the values of the ordinates for Zm, Z2 and Z3. Zm is given by AB divided by L. So A, that is nothing but the distance, this distance. So the remaining distance is what? L minus A, you will get it as 17, that is 36 minus 18.285, you will get 17.715 divided by 36, you will get the value of Zm. Next, calculate the value of Z1. Here the bigger triangle by the smaller triangle, you will get Z1 as 6.537. Next, for Z2, the bigger triangle by the smaller triangle, you will get the value of Z2. Next, for Z3, the larger triangle, this the larger triangle and the smaller triangle. Okay, so I have got the value as 7.98. Now once you have this, our normal way of calculating absolute maximum bending moment is what? Summation of the loads multiplied by the respective ordinates. So once you have that, this is nothing but load multiplied by the ordinates. So load multiplied by the ordinates. So after doing the substitution and calculation, we will get the answer as 2810.32 kilonewton meter. So this is how you solve the problem. Here the main thing is just this positioning of the load. Okay, first find x bar. Once you find x bar, place that resultant wherever that, with respect to x bar, wherever it is coming. Okay, then find out which load in between two loads you will be placing that resultant side, that is left side and the right side. You have to see the difference, which is the heavier load. Consider the heavier load. Now next is you have to calculate the distance between the heavier load and the resultant. Once you get the distance d, next where, at what, how far or at what distance should I place that heavier load from left support, that is given by L by 2 plus d divided by 2. L is nothing but span and d is nothing but the distance between the resultant and the heavier load. Once you get that and have this influence line and placing that load at that particular distance away from left support, after that the steps are the same. Okay, we'll meet in the next session. Till then, thank you.